So, in this session, we begin our look into the musical artistry of the talented multi-instrumentalist and producer Joseph Pryor, as we continue on our path of personal progress on the piano. Hello again, piano pals. We're together again as we take another step towards improving our piano technique and expression. Now look, it's my firm belief that we should always be striving to improve ourselves as long as we have life and opportunity, right? And so I hope that we can stay in touch and encourage each other. So clickety-click, subscribe, and share in the comments below or in the Drills for Skills email in the description, right? Now we'll begin this session by taking a listen to a partial reharmonization done by the very gifted Joseph Pryor of a Joseph Nelson track that he produced entitled Jesus, I Love You. Now look, to fully appreciate the changes made in the reharm, take a listen to the original as I will put a link to it in the description. But staying with our goal, we'll now do a broad brush transcription of the segment of interest to see what we're going to be working on, all right? Clearly, we can see that we have quite a bit of work to do in this segment, so we'll head off into the lab where we'll take a deeper look into how he approached this arrangement and learn some things that we can apply to our own playing. Now look, let's take a critical listen to this clip again. Right, now if we take a closer look at the harmony implied in this little portion, we can relate to it as 1 sharp, the key of G major. And we're outlining the chords of G full diminished and G major. So if we take a quick peek at our broad brush transcript, we can see the descending figure in the left hand on each of the diminished chord tones and a melodic figure in the right hand. Now, this is super important for us. So if we're going to look at how the G diminished scale is constructed, we start on G and ascend in an alternating whole step and half step pattern until we reach G an octave higher. We can also look at this another way. We'll start on G and play the first 4 notes in the G minor scale. Then we'll play the first 4 notes of the D flat minor scale and end on G an octave higher. Now look, what's also cool to notice is that full diminished chords come in families, as each of their inversions are also full diminished chords, right? Which means that G diminished is related to D flat diminished, B flat diminished, and finally E diminished, which also means that the whole step half-step scales that are created by each of these all contain the same notes. So, armed with this important discovery, let's head into the gym and get our hands into gear. Now, I'm sure many of you are new to this, so we'll play this whole step, half-step scale 1 octave, ascending and descending hands separately at the quarter note subdivision to really become familiar with their execution, okay? Switch hands. Good. So we'll go up a semitone and do the same thing. Now aim for good fingering and consistency. Switch hands. Good. Now look, take some time to feel where to make those comfortable finger crossings. Nice, looking good. Take it up a semitone again. All right. Now look, this will complete all three families of the whole step, half step scales. Switch hands. Sure and steady now, right? Good. Good stuffage, friends. Now let's do 2 octaves of these with eighth note subdivision to improve our fluency, all right? Remember, the object is to get our hands fully engaged with these and familiar with the crossings, all right? Yes. Now, every day, you will want to start on 3 different notes in each of these diminished families, all right? Yes, you will. And because these are a bit more unfamiliar, you may want to spend a bit of extra time on these in your personal practice time, all right? Well, I know I sure do. Good. Now remember not to become frustrated, right? Progress will come with consistent practice. You get that? And look, also don't rush into doing these with your hands together. Take the time to let each hand be solid, right? And of course, when you become fluent at this subdivision, kick it up to 16th notes for a good workout, okay? Yeah, make sure that you are not straining your hands. All right. Aim for consistency and good control of those fingers, all right? Nice. Look, see those shapes and, of course, arrange your fingers for the most comfortable fingering for you. Super job, friends. Next, we'll play a phrase based on the diminished to major chord progression, and we'll use a major 6th, starting on the notes of the full diminished chords and ending on a perfect 5th and major 3rd of the root major chords, hands separately. And since these will demand a bit more technique from us, we'll start at the half note subdivision now, right? Good. Again, don't get frustrated with the mistakes. You'll make some. Just keep improving. And of course, isolate the chords in groups of 2 if necessary so that your hands get familiar with moving around in skips of the minor 3rd, right? Like, I'm sure that you don't do that often. Now look, once you're able to comfortably navigate these skips, the last chord movement is up a half step and you will really be able to hear the beauty of this progression. See it? Now, learning these with both of our hands also opens us up to different application possibilities as well, so pay attention to this exercise, all right? All right, so we'll double the subdivision and the repetition as we really want to improve our fluency, and that only comes with repetition and consistency of practice time, okay? Good job. Now listen, the truth of it is that many times we find that we are not progressing at the rate that we would like to when we're doing things that are challenging and unfamiliar. All of us go through this, all right? Just so you know. But the reality is, if we don't continue through these times, we never grow. So I guess the main point here is not to give up. You got that? All right, so finally, just like Joseph's example, we'll put together a descending major sixth figure in our left hand with an ascending whole step, half step pattern in our right hand, okay? Now this will be challenging and will require some determination and dedication to pull off, so stick with it, all right? And all I can say is don't give in to the temptation to quit, all right? Be systematic. Take it as slow as you need to become comfortable. Nicely done. Okay, here we are back in the lab to find another cool tip. Now look, this is quite rich, so we'll dissect this piece into two for our analysis, starting with recognizing that it's another application of the diminished harmony, and can see it from our broad brush replay, right? So we'll take the diminished harmony and add to it a chromatic figure for a bit of color and texture in the gym. So we'll start by going from the diminished chord to a chord tone using connecting semitones, hands separately of course, and switch hands at the octave. Good, and return. All right, up a half step and continue. This is actually a great introduction into playing the chromatic scale, right? Which is also another useful technique to have. Nice. Now, you will see how this will fit into our drill and help us to solidify these shapes, okay? Nice. Return. Now we'll add these two drop to diminished chords. Right. Now you see how interesting these sound as the chromatic figure leads our ear into the chord? Up a half step and continue. Now, we're learning these systematically so that we can start anywhere in the sequence and of course navigate through these shapes, okay? Okie dokie, let's take another look at this as we look at the second half of this cool clip. Now, if we look at the transcription sketch, we see that Joseph continues the drop 2 motif, but this time it's functioning as a walk up from the B to E minor. This is essentially B, A, B, and E minor. More specifically, B7, A7, B7, and E minor 7. Now, the dominant chords can be expressed using diminished chords built on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and flat 9th. So let's go into the gym again and drill this diminished sequence through a few of the keys, all right? So we'll voice the chords in drop 2, and the lowest voice will be the sharp ninth of B7, the third of A7, the third of B7, and the flat 7th of E minor. Good. Up a half step and we'll get the lowest voice to be the sharp ninth of C7, the third of B flat 7, the third of C7, and the flat 7th of F minor. All right, do this up a half step. Now, you're going to be doing these in 3 keys every day as you work to get it into your musical vocabulary, all right? Good, let's do one more key as a bonus. Here we go. Now look, this is a really useful progression, so get comfy with it, all right? Look at that, we're almost done. Alrighty then. We made it through another packed session, right? Yay! And our improvement is sure as we continue, good? So don't forget to check out the earlier sessions to improve the finger comfort, and of course get your wee wiggly finger workout action going on while moving through the chords in all the keys, okay? Now please be encouraged to dedicate more time for transcribing and analysis into your practice routine while working on the essential drills in the 3 different keys every day except for those done in cycles, so that our development is always even as we go through the keys, okay? Now as always, I am looking forward to your comments and your emails of songs to listen to and to work through, and of course other tutorial suggestions if you have any. Remember to journal your challenges so that you can always know what you have to work on. So, looky here, you see the red button? Smash the red button, subscribe and stay in touch as we share successes and struggles. Be productive, people, and I'll see you in another session when we'll work on more drills to increase our skills.